This is one of my favorite drills ever. Basically, you're trying to hit the ball into the doubles alley and keep it in play as long as possible. In this particular instance, Emma is hitting forehand on the line. I'm hitting backhand on the line, and we're trying to make as many shots as possible. This is a lot harder than it looks. Make sure that your player gets plenty of balls into the alley before you switch over towards the other side. If you're doing this with your partner, make sure both of you guys are getting some good rallies going before switching over. In my experience, it's player dependent. What's easier? Personally, I find forehand down the line a little bit easier than backhand down the line, but I know players that have an easier time getting the backhand down the line as well. So this is a great practice for down the line shots, overall consistency and directional control. The degree of difficulty is high, but the more you do this, the better you get at it. Yeah. In this next drill, I'm going to have my player work on playing slice. So I'm going to slice every forehand and every backhand, and I'm basically going to give my player no pace, a lot of junk, and they're going to be forced to stay low, move their feet, bend their knees, and most importantly, apply more spin to the ball. I'm also going to vary the heights of the slice. I'm going to try to do some super low, like this one. I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to try to let the slice float a little bit. And I might even put some side spin on the ball if I can. I'm just going to give my player the most amount of junk that I possibly can. What happens with a lot of players when they get junk, because the junk is at least half speed of the normal ball players see, they automatically play with less intensity because they associate a lower ball speed to having to do less. But when it comes to these type of balls, intensity is of the utmost importance, and you might even need more intensity than you normally would utilize on the tennis court because these balls are very deceiving. Go, 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 go. Bravo, Emma, come. Back it up, back it up, back it up. So if you catch your player being low intensity, you got to make sure you correct it. If you're doing this with a partner, make sure both of you guys are utilizing high intensity, and you can have one player junk the ball while the other one hits normal, and then you alternate. Of course, you want to do this on both sides, so the junk baller is going to start on the do side, and then after a while you transition over towards the ad side. Bravo, Emma, bravo. The next drill that I always do with my players is to give them some moonballs, because this is one of the most hated shots in tennis. And I'm gonna give a couple of different types of moonballs. I'm gonna make some with topspin like this, and then I'm gonna give some flat moonballs as well, like that, where the ball is just sitting up. It's important for the player to be aggressive off the incoming moonball when they have the chance to. Now, one thing that I do with this practice is I alternate sides, and I will slide over towards the other side as I'm giving moonballs, because I'm gonna have plenty of time to do that because my ball is extremely slow. Come on, use your body. Good, Emma, nice. Good, Emma, nice. Ollie it. Good. It's okay. Now, if the player has opportunities to take some swing volleys, I encourage that, but the court position must be good for that to happen. The main purpose here is to be aggressive and have the body weight transferring the right way and not getting caught in positions where you're hitting a moonball and falling back, because then you're most likely going to be stuck either with making mistakes or an actual moonball rally. This is one of my all-time favorite drills because it naturally increases the intensity in the player, and it's going to be one player at the net in the corner and the baseline player right in the middle, and the volleyer is going to hit the volley central. And the purpose of this drill is high intensity, control, and consistency, because we're going to keep this ball in play as long as possible. Now, if you happen to extend the rally, you get to work on stamina too. Now, what naturally happens with the volleyer is that the degree of difficulty on the volley is sky high. So naturally, there's going to be some shank volleys, some that spray wide, some that spray, short. And of course, the baseline player has to make the appropriate adjustment. So this is one of my all-time favorite drills because you work on so many different things simultaneously. Come on, Emma, high intensity. Yes. Yes, Emma. Yes. Yes. Come. 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 Excellent rally, nice. Up. Okay, so the next drill, I'm gonna have Emma hit one ball hard and low and the other one more heavy and higher over the net. I'm gonna call out low or high. Low, high, low, high, high again, low, high, low, low, high, and high, low. Last one, low. Very good, Emma, nice. It's very important for players to have the ability to adjust the height of their ball and not always play the ball with the same height, because there are going to be some opponents that are going to find a liking to that. So having the ability to change up the height of the ball while always continuing to play an aggressive ball even when it's higher is going to come in very handy against a lot of opponents. Another shot that's not often practiced is the angled ball, and I like doing this with cones because it gives a better visual for the player, and also there's a satisfaction when they end up hitting a cone. So basically, we're looking for the player to maintain the speed of the stroke as they're executing the angle, because you don't want to decelerate too much, because that not only is going to be easier to retrieve for the opponent, but it's also going to, in my experience, create more inconsistency when you attempt an angle. So a lot of topspin. There's going to be a different angle at the moment of contact, something that we're going to touch upon in a separate video. And when you practice this shot in a non-match situation, you're more likely to pull it out in a match situation. Last two, come. Last one, Emma, come, angle it off. One of my all-time favorite drills for control, footwork, and the ability to hit the ball harder and more aggressive is cross-court points, where you basically imagine a line right in the middle of the court. Doubles alleys are out, and you play out points. If you have mobility issues, you can hit backhands. If you're super fit, you can make backhands illegal. That's going to make the intensity even higher. And you go up to 11. You do a couple of sets of these, and this is incredible practice. Ah, you got me there. Good. Ah, you got me again, Emma. When it comes to backhand cross-court points, I do allow forehands because it's an important forehand to practice, the one from the backhand side. Emma, you're allowed to hit forehands. You can. You can hit forehands if you want. Ah! 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 Project one-hander is working. Ah! So you do a couple of sets of the backhand cross court, and then you transition into a full court set up to 11. But the rule is you're going to feed the ball to your student or your partner, and they have to hit to your backhand first, and then the rally is wide open. Oh, good. Too good, Emma. Nice. Wide, right? Last but not least, you're gonna serve and play it out. Going up to 11, you're gonna alternate sides after every point, and you're gonna be serving the whole time. That way, you build up some consistency into your serve and you get to work on different things. And if you have the stamina, you do 2 sets on each serve. So overall, 4 sets. Oh! Oh my goodness. Now for demonstrational purposes only, we didn't actually play a whole set up to 11. Now Emma is gonna serve one to me, and we're gonna play it out. Ah, hey. Ah, oh, hey. Ah, too good, Emma, too good. Emma, how good was this practice?
Very solid.
Super high intensity.
Yes.
We covered a lot of ground and you worked on a lot of different things. A lot of this stuff will show up in a match, I think. Great job, Emma. Nice work.
I mean, this is what shows up.
It shows up.
Balls.
Well, what I was telling the people on camera, like when you practice playing a high ball, when you practice angles,
Yeah.
when you practice changing the height,
Yeah.
you're more likely going to have trust to do that in a match.
Exactly.
You know, you're likely going to pull out that stuff if you need it, right?
Yeah.